Let's see.
Make sure the sound is beating. Unlike
Hi, I'm gonna go add Emily. See? I wish there was a way to like just have you automatically like start it together rather than add you, but oh well.
we can sue Instagram.
That's a great plan. And then we can use the money we get from that to boost, like to get ads to boost this.
Perfect.
Although we'd probably have more of a following if I like actually posted memes
If we
and
actually
things like
cared about any of this that we're doing.
Did you get my invite on Instagram?
I didn't see it pop up. I'm in Instagram.
Let me try again.
Wait, hold on. I might be able to ask to join from here.
Here, I'll just send it again.
It won't let me.
Did you get it?
There we go.
No?
I requested to join, but I don't know why it wouldn't let me just join.
It says you're unable to join. I'm ending it and trying again.
Don't end it! It's not that bad.
I'm gonna end it all forever. And then I'll switch my sound. Okay, how do I make sure that the YouTube feed is coming through? I just need to mute my sound, but not my mic.
Right. Right now I can hear you on the stream.
Okay. Let me try to add Emily. Hello, all of my trusty followers. Let's see. Did it come through that time?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll wait till you join. And then I'll put my headphones on.
Sweet. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Now you can't hear any feedback, right? Through YouTube?
Let me double check. Just because knowing us.
Look at us having less technical difficulties this week. I won't say none, but less.
Okay, wait. Okay. Let me. Yeah, I can hear both of us on the stream. So, haha! Take that, technology!
So this week, the reason we're late is not because of technology and not because Emily forgot to watch, but it's because my toddler has her first cold. So I think you should just start assuming that we'll be late every week for some reason or another, because life.
Just run on the assumption that it'll be a chaotic mess and you'll probably be right.
Yeah. And if you want to actually start following us loyally, then we'll actually start trying to be on time.
Yeah,
but
so
until then,
at the end of the day, it's your fault.
pretty much. That's
we
what
blame all of you.
Well, this culture in this day and age has really taught me to not own any of my mistakes. So,
yes, and we cancel you as the audience. So don't even think about any of that.
And this is
yeah, right. The no emoji. The no means
right.
please don't.
Well, I don't know how long I'll have before my toddler screams bloody murder. So let's do this thing.
Okay.
I'm going to tilt this down a little.
Hit the highlights. Hit the meme highlights and the drama highlights.
All right. So the very first thing that I saw in this episode, did you catch it? Did you take notes?
Yeah, I took notes, but
what am I going to say?
I don't know. What are you going to say?
The very first thing I noticed was Greg and Connor snuggling on the couch.
I saw that too. Oh, where's our meme?
Yeah, where's the meme?
There it goes. Oh, whoops.
I normally crop them and take all that out, but
yeah,
not today.
But I was too lazy. The relationship Bachelor Nation is actually most invested. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm low key bro TP shipping them.
Did you see the other? Did I take a screenshot of the other one? It's so good. It's that one. No back.
Oh. That one's good too.
Yeah, literally, he's like hanging on to him. So this is probably a little bit sexist and not politically correct, but it's just a little too weird for me.
Like they're not gay.
Right. And yet I was thinking if this was The Bachelor and it was a bunch of chicks hanging out like that, I wouldn't be like,
Yeah.
And so I was like, Olivia, don't be so old fashioned. But I'm just not going to lie. Them cuddling on the couch and rubbing each other's heads just feels a little. But I listened to another podcast today and the podcasters were like, I thought it was sweet. And da-da-da. So I was like, well,
it's the bromance.
Good for you. I'm weirded out. But, anyways, that was the very first thing that I saw. And then the next thing I noticed was that Blake looks like Sully from Monsters Inc. And I don't have a picture of it, but it's totally, that like jawline and his teeth.
Yes, 100%. I agree with you.
And then through here, he looks like the Beast. Yeah. So, poor Blake.
Wait, what do we think of Blake? Because honestly, I hate my level of hate for Blake is the highest out of anybody on the cast.
Do tell.
I don't know. I don't have reasons for it. He just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why.
It's like he walks in the room and you're like, ugh.
Yeah,
see,
exactly.
I don't know. I feel like they seem to have a good connection. And like when they're together, I feel like, yeah, I could see them working. But then him, I just feel like it just feels like he's there for fame, which I know they all are, but so it's not even that I'm like, oh, you have the wrong intentions. It just feels kind of like, I don't really know that I'm buying the authenticity of your feelings for Katie. She's just a hot girl that you can make out with while you get famous. So
right. First of all, okay. The first thing,
I don't know.
What's her head? Taisha or whatever that chick's name is. She walks in.
Tasia?
Oh yeah, whatever her name is. Fantasia. Is that her name? She goes, first of all, I know now that if you're here for the right, genuine reasons. And I was like, what are you talking about, lady? Like, first of all, Blake is the worst of the worst. Clearly, he's not. And then just the fact that somehow, just because they weeded out Thomas, now, like, they've weeded out all bad intentions forever into eternity. Amen. Hallelujah. Like, okay.
I know. Good grief. Sorry, I got distracted because my mom says that she can't find us on YouTube.
Oh, well.
Or on Instagram.
Instagram?
She says the live Instagram has ended. Oh, now she's joined. she had to refresh. Hey, Mom.
Now who's having technical difficulties?
So, Mom, the only thing you missed is we were talking about how Blake looks like a cartoon character and how Greg and Connor were cuddling, and that weirded us out, even though that's politically incorrect. And then we also mentioned Emily was saying positive. she can't stand Blake. Period. The end.
Yes.
I feel like he's going to be top 2.
Why?
So I feel like, yeah, you're going to be stuck with him for a while. Oh, goodness. What did you think about how Tayshia was the one that broke the news to the guys, not Katie?
Yeah, well, I guess I didn't really even notice. I mean, like, I didn't think any thoughts about it. What did you think about that?
Well, I guess since I've watched more seasons, I feel like it's usually like an awkward, like the Bachelor or Bachelorette has to kind of be the one to break that news. So I was like, that's nice for Katie that Katie didn't have to be the one to go in and be like, well, guys, I've made this decision. Like, it's nice that it could kind of be Tayshia. But then on the flip side, I think it makes it awkward then when Katie did come in, it felt super awkward. But I mean, I think that's just going to be the way that it is, no matter what.
Yeah, well, right. Because Blake walks in and he's like, I can feel that there's tension here. And I was like, what?
I was just going to say that.
What do you expect?
Did he expect him to be like, Blake?
I know,
like, give him a hug.
What the heck? And then also, I just wrote, this is an important thing I need to highlight. Courtney's tall head.
I feel like we've had a note about that every single episode.
I have more notes later on in the show, so don't let me
about Courtney's head.
Yes.
Yeah, and I also, it's so typical, which you haven't watched the show as much, but like everybody's like, if Blake gets this one-on-one, I'm going to be floored. Of course he's going to get the one-on-one. He came late. And so she's got to figure this thing out. Like, that's how it goes. That's literally like, I can't think. I'm sure there is a time that it hasn't happened, but I can't think of a time. So it's like, yeah, that was just kind of like eye roll to me.
Yeah, right. And then also Blake said, I haven't met anyone quite like Katie. And I was like, why would you just, that's clearly just a made up thing that he just spouted. Like, what does that even mean? First of all.
So I also was like, why did she, when she came in and was telling the guys, she's like, I have to admit, like, we just have a really good chemistry and I have to go with that. I'm like, sweetie pie, why wouldn't you at least say a good, I only had 15 of you. I needed 16. No, but it's like, sweetie pie, why wouldn't you say I had a really good connection with Blake? Like, don't be telling all these other guys that you're macking, being like, we just have really good chemistry. Like, they don't want to know that. They don't want to know that. So yeah, I did not like her.
I'm just really into that Sully vibes, you know?
And the Beast.
He was always my Pixar crush.
Cue the Blake meme from his date, because now we're getting to Blake's one-on-one, and Blake says, I'm really afraid of horses.
Oh yeah, what was the wrong one?
Blake, I'm really afraid of horses. Also Blake, and it's all these pictures of him with like wild animals, which I just thought was hilarious. But also I'm afraid of riding horses too, even though I grew up doing it. Now I'm a big wuss, so I feel Blake's pain. Even though,
are you afraid of rhinoceroses?
But he wasn't riding a rhinoceros.
True,
like,
true.
You could just stand there and take a picture with it, you know?
Yeah,
so
I feel you. I'm not a huge fan of horses either myself, but that's on account of the death-inducing asthma.
You like being able to breathe? That's weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, that takes a while.
I also loved how Blake gets on the horse and he says, "What's go?" Like, not like, how do I make it go? Or like, what's go? What's the button for it? That just tickled me. Let's see.
Yeah.
Anything else about his date? No. I was going to jump to his date portion.
More boring dates. Riding horses is boring. Oh my gosh, boring. Oh, that was the other thing. I was making fun of their really deep and intellectual conversation. Oh my gosh, like I thrive like when I'm talking to you, like, oh, it's so nice. Like, and I was like, you guys, could you?
That's not what you're like on dates. Like, that's like not what you're like. Like,
also,
my mom wants to know how to get on YouTube because she can't see the memes.
Oh, okay. I'll send it to you in a text message.
Do we have it linked in our profile on Instagram for anybody else, for our other vast following that wants to go to?
All the other people who are demanding to know how to get to our YouTube show.
Oh, good grief. Oh, goodness. Yeah, and my notes about, like, I didn't have any other thoughts about their daytime portion. It did, I do have one more thing to say. It did just feel so, it's not scripted. The show isn't scripted, but their interaction felt so like
real chemistry?
No, like, it felt like no, when they're riding on the beach and he said whatever, and she was like, yeah, me too. Oh my goodness, me too. Okay.
I know. I was not buying them at all. Like,
no.
I don't even buy that she likes him. I think she has to keep him because, like, that's how the show goes, you know?
She has a choice. She said, I listened to a podcast where she was talking, and she said that if it had been him or Dr. Joe, who was another fan favorite from the last season, she said, I knew if it was either of them that I would want them to stay. But any other person, I would have been like, no, and just sent them home right away. So that's what she said. Maybe. I still think it's more just that she's enamored that and also all the fans had been like, OMG, Blake and Katie should get together. So I think it was probably one of those like, oh, everybody thinks we'd be good. Let's check it out kind of a thing.
Because everyone else told her.
So their nighttime portion,
Wait. First of all, I have to say that when they were rolling around in the hay, they put hay in their hair, right? Like, that was staged hay.
So I listened to a podcast today. I listen to several podcasts whenever I'm doing laundry or whatever. And I listened to one by Nick Vial, who was on, or Vial, however you say it, Vial, I think. He was the one who was on, like, did the date where they all had to confess their deepest, darkest secrets. He's been the Bachelor before, that guy who has tons of Bachelor history. And he was like, so I listened to his podcast, The Vial Files, and him and his girlfriend were on it today. And they were talking about, like, she was like, is that, or no, he asked her because she was a country girl. And he was like, is that a thing? Like, kids making out in the hay? And she was like, no, hay is itchy. Like, you don't want to roll around in the hay. That's not sexy. So exactly. My mom says staged hay all the way.
Exactly. Yeah, and it didn't even look like natural hay. It looked like someone just went up and, like, poked a bunch. Like, here, let's put one here. Now kiss each other.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that looked really itchy and uncomfortable. Do you have other... I don't want to jump ahead to the night portion and cut you off.
Go.
She's like, yeah, when the Me Too movement happened, and I am like, oh, why do we have to do all the social justice stuff on here?
Trigger warning sign, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Well, and I think you're a little more comfortable being politically incorrect on social media, and I'm more like, of course, I feel like if that's her truth and whatever, like, I don't want to be insensitive to people who have really been through tough stuff. Like, I know you said that Katie's way of handling it, or like the whole problem with the Me Too movement, we talked about this last time, is that it, like, makes it so that people have really been through trauma. It, like, takes away from the seriousness of that. But I'm like, I try to be respectful of, like, I'm sure there are people who have been, stuff has happened to them that I don't know about, and I'm not trying to be a jerk. But in this case, I just feel like it just felt like, oh, here we go, being heavy again. And then on a lighter note, I cracked up at how Blake was like, it's just crazy because I feel like this could be my first date with my wife. And it's like, they literally say that every season, at least one of them, if not multiple. Like, this could be my first date with my future wife. Like, I just literally is so cliche.
The day that we discover dragons. Like, okay, anything could be.
Yeah. Okay. Like that guy, Simon Holland or whatever that tweeter says, we are all Olympic hopefuls. So yeah, this could be my wife. You never know.
Also, Connor could be Greg's wife. You never know.
That's going to be the spinoff show. It's going to be like, Katie says she gets her heart broken in this season. So that was on another one of Nick Vile's things. He said, did you really get your heart broken? And she said, yes. So that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Greg and Connor say, sorry, Katie, we've fallen in love with each other. Because she also said her season ends early. So
there you go. Last two, they whittles down to the last two, and they're like, psych.
And it's like, they like have the proposal thing set up. I don't know if you've seen that before, but they have the proposal thing set up, and then they usually have the loser come up and get rejected, and then the winner come up, and instead they both come up at the same time, and they're like, Katie, we're gonna need you to step aside. We're gonna need you to exit stage left. Oh my word.
That would be so funny. Okay, but also, like, not to go off on another moralizing pontification, but how can you get from I was assaulted and therefore was afraid of sex to now, logically, I should become sex positive? That doesn't track. It doesn't track.
Okay, devil's advocate, and we're getting off topic here, but devil's advocate. You and I have talked about how a lot of the movements, which I won't name because they're hot button issues, but there's a problem. And instead of fixing the problem, we swing 100% to the other end of the spectrum and like make the problem the other way. So could we not argue that that's what Katie has done? She's gone from, well, I don't want to be anti-sex, so now I'm the most sex positive.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like this is one of the not to get too much off on a tangent. But one of the problems with our degrading moral code in this society is everybody's just like unmoored. So then what do? You just kind of like float around not knowing upside down from a hole in the ground. Then that's what you end up.
It's like in, right out, right up, right down, right out, right in, right up, right down, right. Just like the songs we sang in vacation Bible school.
We should write a doctoral thesis about that.
In fact, if you all could just stay tuned, we're not going to talk about The Bachelor anymore. We're going to talk about our thesis.
Oh no, we just lost 50% of our audience.
Mom? Brooke, I didn't say hi, but I saw you're here too. Hi.
Hey, Brooke.
Oh, goodness. And I loved how... Comments. Do you have anything else to say about that nighttime date? Because ahead. I don't. No. Okay. So moving on to the group date. I love how she's like, there's just so much drama and I'm trying to like move past it. And we've already seen in the preview that there's going to be medical drama. It's like, why? The cheesy lines are just incredible. And then my mom's favorite line that she texted me was, I was making sure I wasn't forgetting anything from, no, they get the date card, blah, blah, blah. They're all going, Andrew's giddy to be getting the one-on-one. So they show up for this date and Katie's like, yeah, sports are just a really big part of my life because I played volleyball when I was growing up. Like, not like I was on a team in college or I had a scholarship or like, that's what I aspire to do. That's what I do every weekend. Yeah, sports are a really big part of my life because I played volleyball when I was growing up. Yeah, like, so you went to the neighborhood volleyball, you know. And
sports are a big part of my life because I've heard of baseball.
Exactly. When I was younger, my dad took me to a few games, so sports are a really big part of my life. Yeah, my mom texted me that line, and we were both dying laughing.
Also, I wrote down, how are those suspenders staying on Courtney's shoulders? Because his shoulders are like this. I was like, his whole suit is just going to fall off.
They probably taped it on his back. So the guys hosting it, Franco and Wells. I love Wells. Do you know who Wells is? Wells has been the bartender in Bachelor in Paradise because he was on The Bachelorette like 5 years ago. And he became like, he's one of Bachelor Nation's favorites. He is just so freaking funny. And he is engaged to Sarah Hyland from Modern Family. So whenever Wells shows up, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be good. Like, I don't care about the date or Katie and the guys. I'm excited to see what Wells is going to do. Okay. So I think Wells is just a quirky, weird, funny guy.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I think I've heard of him. I just didn't like recognize him or clock him or anything.
Yeah. And yeah, the outfits, like you said, were ridiculous.
And then my other favorite line was it Justin that said that Hunter looked like a circus dude? He's like,
looked like a circus dude.
Well, he kind of
did. Oh my word. And then another Hunter. What do we think about Hunter? I don't even think we have to ask this question.
I know. I don't love him, but also like I don't actively dislike him. I just don't really like him either.
Okay, so on the episode, I really actively disliked him, but more just because I think he's not that attractive. They don't have a connection, and he just came across as the villain.
Yeah. Here's our
but then they talk about how Hunter when Andrew howled. That's amazing. But then I've seen a lot of stuff on social media, and I saw Hunter posted today saying how he was really portrayed poorly last night and just saying how he appreciated all the positive comments he received and how like it wasn't like, I'm not a bad guy. Like it was a really well done post, just basically like, yeah, I appreciate the love. You know, everybody can be portrayed poorly. And last night sure didn't make me look good. And people were ragging on like his snorting and his like sniffling. And Well, apparently he has Tourette's. And so he posted and was like, well, so
Yes.
what, Mom? Oh. Did you see my mom's outfit? Did you love it when Michael A. popped his butt cheeks in that outfit?
His dad
Yes,
bod.
that was hilarious. And I was also thinking, your body isn't like those other guys, but if that's your dad bod, you're pretty darn lucky.
That's what I said too.
Oh, that was hilarious. But yeah, Hunter, like, I feel like, because everybody's been hating on him for like how nasty he is and what he's like, guys, I have Tourette's. So it's kind of funny, like shaming all the jerks who are like writing hater comments and he has a medical condition.
That is hilarious. Yeah, also, yeah, right. In watching it, like, I can't really get a beat on Hunter in the sense that I felt like part of why he came across that way was the edit. But, you know, it's hard to tell.
So I'm laughing because I'm distracted because you've been like this. Hold on. You've been like this the whole time and like exactly centered in the thing. And I've been like this and this and this and this the whole time.
You're still in the frame.
So I got distracted. Yeah, I don't love him, but I don't feel like he's the villain they're portraying him to be. I just think he's kind of a competitive guy who's going to fight for what he like, because somebody was saying all the things people are hating on him for, all the other guys have done in a different way at some point in time. So I don't think he's the villain everybody's portraying him to be. It's just like, I also just don't think they're a great fit and don't love him. Right. But I love how I did think it was the dumbest thing ever when he walked by Katie after he like knocks some guy out and he says, "That was for you." Because it wasn't even like a wink. That was for him. It was like, "That was for you."
And like this other guy that you're also dating.
Yeah, that killed me. So I predicted wrong. Did you get the group date rose correct?
I forgot to predict.
Well, I didn't predict it before, like on the score sheet. I just was like, oh, great. Michael got hurt, so he's going to be the one that gets the group date rose. And then it was Hunter, and I was surprised by that. But also from the Vile Files, they were saying that there are love roses and drama roses, and sometimes they're allowed to pick who gets the rose, and that's a love rose. And other times the producers like nudge them to give the rose to somebody, and it's a drama rose. And they were like, Hunter's rose was totally a drama rose. Like it was totally just to stir up. And I was like, yeah, that makes more sense.
I see it.
But yeah, he like pulls pictures of his kids out, and it's like, so then he's gonna get the rose. Which I just thought was hilarious.
I know, and to me, I don't know if it was the edit or not, but to me, it felt like he was using his kids, right?
Oh, totally.
Because the way he said it was like, wait, where did I write it down? Oh yeah, because his whole reasoning for why he was doing it was, I'm going to get the rose, not that I actually like her or that I want it.
Because then the edit was, he's like, yeah, I mean, I showed her pictures of my kids, so.
So I gotta get the rose. Yeah, and it also came off of like,
Sorry, I just heard a crash boom in the other room. Is everything okay? Yes. Okay. Sorry, go ahead, Emily.
He had more like, I'm doing this because I like winning energy than I'm doing this because I like Katie energy.
Yes. So not like he's a bad guy, but just like you're more into the competition than Katie.
Yeah, totally.
I have nothing else to say about Hunter. Okay. Do you?
Nope.
My note, Michael A, still too much of a, for me, like even when he's like shaking his head, like,
I know, he's
just a little too much for me. But I think he's a really good guy is the vibe I'm getting. I just think he's a little too for me, but I think he's a good person. And I love how she really seems to be digging him. Like, I don't find him that, like, I don't feel their connection. I'm not buying it, kind of. But then he was like, I just feel like there's something special. And she's like, oh, I know there's something special between us. And it was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't get it.
I just feel like she's really into him and it doesn't make sense. And can we talk about Connor's chest?
Wait, what about it?
Connor had his shirt like completely unbuttoned while he was singing to her. It's like this cocktail party. Yeah, it's a cocktail party where it's supposed to be like they're all dressed up nice, and instead he's like singing to her with his like literally maybe it was a deep V-neck, but it was like open shirt. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, yeah, Aaron vibes. Like, I'm just going to do what I want, regardless of the social.
Yeah. Exactly. Who was it? Was it Trey that was saying, yeah, it's just like a testament to how great she is that we're all willing to like get out there and risk physical harm. And I was like, yeah, it's either a testament to how great she is or to testosterone. Like, you all get out there and want to be the biggest.
As
like,
if anybody is like, oh no, I don't want to play sports.
There was one guy, one of the seasons. No, it was this season, the mud wrestling, where he was like, I have a condition and I'm not going to be able to do it. That's happened a couple times. And Aaron's always a whiner. I just feel like Aaron is constantly put the one up of the Survivor meme. This is Aaron to me. Can't wait to find out who the guys put off the show this week. That's how I feel like. And one of the podcasts, just go listen to Vile Files. Don't listen to me because that's all I'm quoting. But he was talking about like how much it's gone to Aaron's head. If he's like, he got Cody off and then he helped get Carl off and then he helped get Thomas off. And he's like, Hunter, you're next. Like they feel like it's Survivor instead of Katie getting to choose.
Just whacking people. Yeah.
Yeah. And I felt like Katie was super emotional. Like, I know there's a lot of emotion on the show, but this date in particular, it was like, oh my goodness, the song, I'm going to cry. Oh my goodness, your kids, I'm going to cry. Oh, your wife died, I'm going to cry. Like, I felt like she cried at like everything.
Shook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, according to that preview, it's pretty much the whole rest of the season. She's just crying.
And puking. Yeah. What did you think about Greg's reaction to Michael's story?
It seemed like in character for him.
I thought it was sweet. I mean, I feel like I personally like that the stigma is being reduced to like real men don't cry. Like, I like that they're showing real emotion, and I thought that was sweet.
Yeah.
But I thought Greg was going to get the rose, and then Hunter got it. Yeah. And I was like, what? Yeah.
He's kind of grown.
Will you turn the light on?
A little bit.
This episode, he was better than he's ever been before.
Hey, Marlo. Hey.
Marlo, this is a very serious podcast, okay? We have a very large following.
Yes, Marlo.
Can you say hi to everyone?
Hi.
Can you say hi?
Hi. Hi.
She can't hear you because I have my headphone in, but she's looking at you. She's supposed to be asleep a long time ago. Oh, we can't touch it.
Marlo,
Daddy's going to come get you.
Hunter?
Yeah, what do you think about Hunter? Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Should he go home? Yeah? Yeah, we don't like him, do we? You saying no? No. That's what our new podcast is going to be, is Marlo just giving all the feedback on we're close to done ish. And what was the okay. Anything else from that?
Let's see. No, I don't think so.
I'm distracted because my kid's laughing and she's so cute. Okay, so let's jump to Andrew S.'s date.
Oh, yeah.
Emily, you just don't like any of these guys. You're hilarious.
No, well, okay, I do actually kind of like Andrew S. It was another one of those things like, let's just drag out drama for the sake of dragging out.
Well, it's another one of those dates where, like, you can tell the producers are really trying to be creative because of quarantine. Like, it was kind of cute, but kind of lame.
I know, yeah. when she did that plug and it was like 5 strings of lights, I was like,
well, I kind of cracked up at that because in the past they've done that, like similar, where they'll be like, oh, what kind of date's this going to be? And they plug it in and it's like a whole carnival where they can like, and instead it was like, here's some twinkle lights and some truth or dare.
I know, I cracked up.
But I died when he was like, where are we going? And I'm like, yeah, she's taking me into the woods. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. Am I going to like fight a bear? Like, why would that be your first guess as to what you're doing? Yeah, usually when I go into the woods, it's to fight a bear. Like, what the crap, Andrew? And then I wrote, what if he couldn't lift her when she like ran? Like, you have to lift her up to get close to reach him. And he's like,
that would be funny.
I wish that would have happened.
She's very small.
I also wrote down that I thought it's such a good sign when you have to say, we're good, we're vibing. Because if you have to say that, I think that clearly means you're not good and you're not vibing.
Right, yes. Because if you actually are vibing.
I'm hiring a new babysitter.
Marlo's just saying, we're good, we're vibing.
Yeah. Like, yeah, we're good, we're vibing. Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. So yeah, what do you think about Andrew?
I like him. I mean, I still like him. I just was horribly bored by that whole saga.
Yeah, I really like him. I think he's gonna go far. I don't think he's gonna win. Like, I think he's gonna be top 3 or 4, probably top 3, because my predictions right now are Greg and Blake as top 2, which I actually would have thought Connor and Greg, but now she seems to be like everybody's
Connor and Greg.
Yeah, because they're the ones that have to get engaged.
Right.
But yeah, so I think Andrew's going to go really far, at least top 5, but I don't think he'll win.
Yeah, and also like, why did they have to make a whole to-do about biracial couples?
Because, Emily, that's the movement these days.
I was so annoyed. Okay,
I knew you would be, and I'm going to play devil's advocate. I agree with you. We're going to get a lot of hate mail from Brooke and my mom. But no, I feel like I'm not okay with the way, without getting into details, because clearly you're frustrated by it. I'm not a fan of how the BLM movement is portrayed. I am not going to get into all the nitty gritty of that, but I feel like I'm not a fan of the, again, social justice craze that accompanies the issue. I will say, devil's advocate, I appreciated how Andrew handled, since it had to be addressed, I appreciated how Andrew handled it, and that it was kind of like, not, to me, it felt like it wasn't as dramatic, and it was just kind of like, yeah, let's talk about it. Okay. And then done. Instead of like, I feel like sometimes like I don't know, you didn't watch the last season, but it was like, let's have this long, deep talk about, and it got really like heavy and kind of cringe. And I feel like Andrew was just kind of like, yeah, this was a tough thing that I went through with a woman I loved. And she was like, wow, that's really sad. And he was like, yeah, like it ended up being like a sweet movement, even though I know the show was trying to do like a social justice plug.
Okay, sure.
So,
all right, I'll allow it, but still, I mean,
no, I don't love it either. I'm just saying, I felt like he handled it in a way that was kind of like, it ended up being a sweet bonding thing between the two of them instead of like,
yeah. Fine. I rescind my flames.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So now to the night portion before the rose ceremony.
when Hunter's trying to.
Hi.
I can't even remember that dude's name. We've seen him so little. The guy that interrupted Hunter.
The box guy?
Yeah.
James?
Yeah.
So James, my first thing I noticed about him was that he looked like he was either trying to channel a priest with his turtleneck or a mob boss because of the turtleneck and the chain.
I know.
So I wasn't sure which one, but I was like getting some real Italian vibes. Yeah, either Italian Catholic, Italian mob boss.
Yeah, and then he was like pacing back and forth real ominously, like get with the program, Hunter.
Hunter is very confident. I noted how he's like, yeah, I'm going to get a one-on-one. I'm seeing one-on-ones in hometowns. And, You want your Pepsi? Sorry, I'm distracted. She won't normally be awake, but first cold. Say hi. Okay. So predictions. Let's go on to, do you have anything else? To me, there was nothing that really stood out other than that, yeah, it was ridiculous that Hunter brought that telescope from home. And that was a little crazy. But yeah, I don't really have nothing significant to me. I had James pegged as going home until he made his bold move. And then I crossed him out and I crossed out whoever and wrote him down because I was like, oh, he's going to stay because she was like, I like that you made a bold move. So there's no way he'll probably go home the next time or the time after, but there was no way he was going to go home this time. What? Can you go see Daddy for one more minute? Mommy's almost done. Mommy's almost done.
Because I was actually kind of surprised at her reaction, like that she was so impressed by that. Maybe because she was trying to escape from Hunter.
That's a super common response on the show. Is it's kind of like an awkward cringe of like, let me interrupt you, but then it turns into like, I love that you fought for your time because yeah, Katie's just stuck there with whoever's there, and she likes it that somebody's like, hey, sorry, but I want to talk to her. She's like, oh, so. To me, that was very typical. How many did you get right?
Well, again, I forgot to fill out my bracket.
Emily, how are we going to be rich and famous?
Well, I mean, I don't know. We're
my mom wrote vibing. I got all but one right. I thought she was going to keep Courtney and send home Trey because I didn't feel like she was vibing with Trey. Well, she just seemed to have like... The podcast I listened to, they're like, as soon as the toilet paper came out, I knew Courtney was going home. But to me, I was like, oh, she'll like that he did something quirky and clever. And Trey has just been kind of like, meh. So that's why I thought that she would send Trey home. But I think Trey goes home in the next week or two. But I got all the rest of them right.
Yeah.
So I'm winning because I did it and you didn't.
Dang it.
Okay. So last thing.
And then the preview.
Yeah, the preview. Last things. Hold on just a second. I think that my babysitter, my baby's watcher, has left the room. Can you take her for just a second, please? We're wrapping it up. We're talking about the preview. Thank you. So the only thing that I had left to talk about is who do you think comes and who do you think leaves and breaks her heart? What are your guesses?
Wait, there's another person coming still? I didn't catch that.
Yes, you didn't see that in the preview? No. She was like, they show somebody coming and she's like, I would have never thought you would have come.
Oh, I have no idea because I don't know all the characters from the franchise. But I think maybe Michael A. leaves.
That's kind of my guess because she seems to really be digging him, even though it surprises me. And after that, like, heart tearjerker about his son being like, Daddy doesn't want to talk to me or whatever, I think he's like, I'm done, and leaves and breaks her heart. That's my guess, that's the heartbreak. But I could also see Mike P leaving because of the whole, I need to stay a virgin and you're a two-sex woman.
Right, yeah.
So I could see it either way. But my guess is Michael A. And who comes? I have no clue, but I'm just going to throw it out there and predict that it's not another lover pursuing her. It's like a relative or like it's a man.
There were some women in there that were like giving commentary that I didn't know who they were.
Yeah. I think they're like family and friends of them from like hometown or whatever. So, which is another reason I think Blake goes to hometowns. But that's my prediction, is that it's like a dad or a brother or a friend or somebody who's been on The Bachelor before who comes to like give her advice or something, not come to steal her heart. That's my guess.
Yeah. I agree with your guess.
Any other thoughts?
Hunter's ex-wife, your mom said.
That's amazing. Oh, my last two thoughts, and then I really need to go because my baby needs me. But my last two thoughts were, I can do a better wolf howl than Andrew. Like, what the heck? And his dance moves. Like, I really like you, Andrew, but those were two very simple things that you really butchered. So, yeah.
I I couldn't tell if it was because he was so embarrassed or because he just straight is that.
I think it's because he's like, this
spontaneous.
feels awkward. We're just standing here alone in the woods and you want me to, like, he couldn't own it, but it was hilarious. Like, I feel like my dance moves are dorky, but I could have like owned my dorky dance moves. And instead he's like, I don't know. So yeah. Any other final thoughts?
No, that's it.
Have your predictions for Final Four changed?
No. Same
I don't
Z's,
think
same
mine have
Z's.
either.
Wait,
all right, well,
I have to take Quartney out of my Final Four. No, just kidding.
I just like that you always call him Quartney. Oh, that's the best. All right, well, watch next week. We'll try to do it at 8, and hopefully my baby won't be sick. So thanks, everybody.
All right, bye.